Hello everyone. I'm doing this video because I was asked to do a video about how to stay healthy without eating meat. Here is the request. It says, could you maybe do a video on how to cleanse if your body is having difficulty without meat, please? Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about cleansing without meat. Okay, so what are the benefits of eating meat? Well, the benefit of eating meat says that meat has nutrients and protein. And most people think it's the protein level that the protein is a major reason that society uses to have people be stuck in a system. But actually, if you do a bit of research yourself, you'll see. I mean, not much research is required. Eventually, you understand that everything has consciousness, and so what we call protein, what we call vitamin B, vitamin D, they don't really exist outside of any frequency. But for us here, it could be very real, right? So basically, everything has protein. Everything has even the smallest amount of vitamin B, vitamin D, and so forth. So I I I did a video presentation to my class. I've been doing it for a couple of years now, where if you look at raw food, food that you don't cook a whole lot or any at all, you'll see that it has more protein than meat. So for broccoli, that's mildly steamed, you'll find more protein than meat. Um, well, why? Why would like vegetables like spinach and broccoli well, broccoli, I don't know the exact one. I know spinach has a lot more. What else says? Oh, quinoa, couscous. Those are just loaded with protein. A lot more. I'm guessing at least 5 times more protein than meat. Now, so quinoa and couscous, huge. Rice has a lot of protein. But of course, there's a difference between the raw food and the cooked version. Okay, so let's just dwell on the raw food element, or just barely steamed, or just slightly steamed or slightly cooked. Obviously, when it's cooked less, then your body is going to have more of the nutrients, is going to be able to you're going to have access to. Doesn't mean that your body's going to really take it in. That's another layer we need to cover. Let's see. So the basic premise is that fire kills. So if you were to put your hand in the fire, all right, I don't think I need this. Let me take this off the screen. If you were to put your hand, all right, so if you were to put your hand in the fire, it would burn, and you would sense how, why? That's because the body is alive. The body is alive, plants are alive, rocks are alive, everything is alive, but everything that is not aware. Everything can't feel the same because it's at a different frequency. So that's the difference. Everything can't feel. I can And so when you have people who are screaming, well, plants have feelings too. Well, plants have senses. Plants can sense, perceive, so can rocks, but it's not at the same level. The lighter you become, the more you can sense things, right? So plants are pretty light, and so if you put plants in fire and you cook it, well, you're going to diminish its positivity. So hence the nutrients go down. The energy is lowered when put through the ringer. So the ringer is a fire. The same thing goes for your hand. The same thing goes for plants. But who wants to be eating raw food all the time? It's not me. I like salads and fruits and vegetables like that, but it's not something that I like to really enjoy my food. So even if the food is cooked and I know that I'm hurting myself, then I have solutions for that. So there are solutions for that, not just my solutions, but some people are engaging in these solutions. So that is the reason why, or at least a major reason why, raw food is usually more nutrient dense than cooked food, because when you cook something, when you put something in fire, it just destroys most of the nutrients, the vast majority of the vital nutrients. And the protein level, it's 50%. So that's why we put people on the raw food diet. They heal from diabetes and all that sorts of things, and so forth. So protein. So we're talking about protein. Let's go back to the protein. Protein is just merely a scare tactic. Why would you want to stop eating meat? Well, I stopped eating meat because of a friend that I had in my childhood, because of a friend. This was an animal, quote unquote animal. And this animal spoke my language, literally my African language. Couldn't speak it, but whenever it's in the books, okay, it's in the books. So I came prepared when I started making videos on YouTube. I was prepared for people like Quartz Crystal, because have had other experiences letting me know that everything has consciousness, including color. That was Mexico in 2011. So I didn't come unprepared. I came ready to go, and the deceivers. It's even now. It's even sharper. My clear audio is even sharper than before, because of what happened this summer, and I'll share that in a little bit. So basically, if you're having difficulty, um, my recommendation to you is to do the best that you can and try to stop being perfect. When you're making incremental changes, incremental improvement, you will reach perfection sooner or later. Besides, perfection is not required to reach heaven. Your source, which is directly connected to the grand source, is looking out for you and will help you meet you along the way after this life to cleanse the rest, as long as you're making an effort. So, if you are really still caught up in the whole protein thing, you might want to pay attention to things like avocados, nuts. You want to pay attention to, little bug, pay attention to how things look, because how things look is an indication of the part of the body that will be healed through that food. Okay, so if you take, for example, walnuts, well, walnuts look like a vagina. So it's good for for that. And for reproduction systems, for as a guy, it's good for guys, it's good for, and you're going to have like the negatives, or well, okay, let's look at nuts, for example. Nuts often have toxins in them, right? For example, peanuts and especially cashews. So what do you do? The answer is a solution. The answer is straightforward. You need to soak it. Water is not going to be enough. You need something strong to knock those chemicals out, and then afterward, rinse it or drain it. I use vinegar. I use kombucha, the extremely fermented version of my kombucha, or I use vinegar that I buy at Costco, and I let it soak for an hour, and then I would drain it, and then I put it back in the pot, and I'll pour some fermented nut milk on it. Usually coconut milk that I buy from the store, just fermented, and that's extremely powerful. I've used coconut milk a couple of times to force things out of my body, the vomit, when I couldn't go to the bathroom. So, so basically, once my cashew nuts I eat, I chew. I don't swallow the hard part. So I pour some of the nut milk, fermented nut milk on the nuts, especially the cashews, since cashews are my favorite. And I don't eat cashews directly anymore because of the toxins and the sugar. It has to be diluted somehow. So I noticed a difference. And the low energy or parasites in my body consuming it. It has a lot more difficulty when the food is fermented, even though some people don't, like it. But it's an acquired taste, fermented food. A lot of things are acquired, I guess. This bug isn't in my face. Okay, so make sure that I'm not losing my thought here, my train of thought. So the whole protein thing is a myth. There are solutions. I think I lost my train of thought, but okay, I'm sure to come back later. So yes, there it is. So if you want to focus on things that will give you the proteins, like the B2, the B vitamins and D vitamins, then you can pay attention to things like nuts, and you can soak them before you eat them. Preparation, it takes like a few seconds to pour vinegar over the nuts and just let it sit for a while. And if you want to do it overnight, it'll become even stronger, and it is to your benefit. You could also cook with. I've made food for people where I use a cashew paste in sauce, tomato sauce, spicy tomato sauce, and the taste is interesting. But I'm trying to stay away from things like that. But as for me, okay, my diet is even harder than the vast majority of people on this planet because I have goals to reach, and I will not surrender until never surrender. And listen, I will go down one way or another. It just can't happen. It's not in me to not reach my goals before I leave, especially the bonus rounds. I've pretty much finished what I'm supposed to do here. So the bonus rounds I'm looking forward to. Uh, that'll take a couple of years to get to the bonus. Well, the small elements of the bonus rounds are now, but the major bonus rounds are going to come later. These are things that I'm working toward. I can't guarantee that certain things will be exposed, but I would love it. I'm working toward it, but that requires me to purge my system entirely. So, meat. So not eating too much cooked food. If you love cooked food, then you need to eat it with a little bit fermented food. If you don't like it too fermented because you're not used to it, then you can always just add a little less. Drink kombucha. The kombucha, some people claim that it has too much sugar. That's just nonsense. It depends how you make it. The kombucha I'm drinking right now has it has so much vinegar in it that really it heals the body. And I have had evidence of this once drinking an extremely fermented kombucha. And in the middle of the night, I woke up and took some hot bait in my nose, and it forced me it induced a purge. This bugs. Okay, so there are a lot of ways. So again, the fermented food kills anything that is parasitical, kills anything that isn't good in there. After 7 days, there'll be nothing. If it's sweet, it's going to be good sweet. Okay, it's not going to cause your body any harm. So it should be only slightly sweet if it's fermented for 7 days, or no. Just watch for that. shouldn't be drinking kombucha that has too much sugar in it. Sugar is a major drug that should be avoided at all cost. So if you're eating raw food, then I suggest that you have something salty with it. Good salt, not white salt. White salt has no nutrients. Something to balance it off, something fermented a little bit. So it's not doesn't mean that you need to stop eating sugar, natural sugar altogether, meaning natural sweet from fruit and vegetables. It just means that you need to balance it out a little bit so that your body, the parasites or the traumas in your body, it's a lot more than just dark energy in people's bodies. It's everything is alive. So it's also trauma, and I'll get to that in a little bit. Okay, let me take a look at my notes to make sure I'm on schedule here. So I was talking about paying attention to the look of the food, how the food looks. Okay, one side note, I know I mentioned this before in other videos in the previous channel that was shut down. Exercise also gives you vitamin D, right? So it's not merely what you eat. If you get enough sunlight, you could actually get vitamin D from there. And if there's no sunlight in the winter, well, you better exercise, do some exercise. And the exercise process will give you your vitamins, some of your vitamins, at least the D level. Okay, exercise. But you know what's interesting that I just thought of? If you are doing a really high level intermittent fasting, like eating once a day, then that too is exercise. You'll find that if you are focused on your diet, especially eating less and less, you really don't have to exercise all that much because the process of fasting itself will produce vitamin D. Because it'll cause you to sweat, it'll cause you to release toxins. Okay, so now, looking at the food, how it looks is literally an indication of what it would do for you. We talked about nuts and so forth. It's really a psychological game that these major corporations have played on us. It's like a placebo effect. If you really believe that you need the meat, then chances are you already built things, neurons in your head. You have neurons in your head that are set up that way. But if you can release that trauma, that belief system, by doing your own experiments over time, I'm not saying that you're not going to have a difficult time. You're going to, some of you might relapse. But here I am. The hardest thing for me to give up wasn't meat. The hardest thing for me to give up was actually, I want to say, bread. Well, the last thing to go was red wine. But the hardest thing to give up was bread. And so I realized later that it was because bread has so much toxins in it that there were programs in my body. It's not just the mind. It's also the body. All right. So let's say you're having difficulty. You feel the urge to consume meat. What can you do? All right. Here are some solutions. One solution is mapacho. Mapacho is spelled Mapacho. Mapacho. CHO. Mapacho is nicotine in its purest form. Nicotine is not bad. It has been promoted as something that's bad. In America, or in Europe, or in most of the world, it is quote unquote bad, not cool for your body, not cool for your mind. But mapacho is not a diluted version of nicotine. Mapacho is real nicotine that cleanses your body, actually helps you. This isn't discussed, this isn't talked about on the news in schools. They just say nicotine's bad for you. Okay, all right, nicotine isn't really nicotine, it's actually a toxin. So when you say cigarettes, you're not really talking about nicotine anymore. You're talking about a drug. Native Americans, the people come to mind. My friends, this summer we used mapacho, quite a bit of mapacho, to take out some of the trauma, to heal my heart. I'll get into that toward the end of the video. So mapacho is in a form, they wrap it, tobacco, here you go. They wrap it in the form of a cigarette, but it's not a cigarette. It's pure, so it's pure nicotine. It's like, I think it's about 20 times stronger than tobacco, American tobacco. Now, if you smoke it, and what's going to, as long as you know, focus on like swallowing it, you just like in your head, it'll heal some of your, it'll calm you down. But again, too much smoke is not good for you. So my recommendation to you is to put it in water, take off the little thing. Maybe you bought it without the cigarette-like encasement. My recommendation is to put the mapacho, okay, the tobacco, in water, a little bit of water, and insert it through your nose. So your head is like this, and you're in the shower, or you're not taking a shower, you want to put it in, okay? And you can allow it to go down your throat, but it's going to be nasty because this is real. This is medicine. It's going to be expected to taste and feel nasty. And so brace for it. So it should be clearing up your head. So expect, you know, a sharp like sting for about 30 seconds. It's you know, if it's your first time, it's not gonna. It actually it's fun afterwards. You feel like peaceful. Now for me, it's the things that we do. Okay, so we've spoken about mapacho. So if you use mapacho from time to time, straight from Peru, you can find that on eBay, but it's expensive. People who sell this stuff on eBay, they sell it. It's mapacho's legal, by the way. It's not illegal. It's expensive. So whenever I go to Peru, that's when I get it. I get a lot cheaper. Now I have a friend, my shaman friends, to guide me through, to help me. So the next thing, in addition to the food, because it's not enough to keep like fasting. It's too much. It's too much work. You're gonna be fasting for the rest of your life. Okay, I can understand like eating once a day and eating like to be satisfied, full, and like not feeling hungry. But you think I am going to be fasting, for example, for my whole entire life? You know, after doing several 7-day fasts? Hell no. I'm gonna take that to Parasite now. If it takes time, it takes time. So the next recommendation is mapacho. Sorry, I already went over mapacho. Rape. R-A-P-E with the la tilde sobre la E. The accent on the E. Rape is a mixture of plants that is taken through the nose, usually by the shamans. Let me show you. I have one of these. So you put it, for example, the rape here, and you blow through your nose. So you're not really cooking anything. It's fresh. It's actually raw, and you're gonna feel a strong sensation in different parts of your brain. So what it's doing, it's healing it. It's undoing the program in your head. It's undoing the trauma. It takes time and dedication to get through because you're talking about this lifetime. We're talking about past lives. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So for me, it's a lot of work because I'm trying to uh, go back to source after this lifetime. And if I weren't told that I would be successful, I think I would still be doing certain things. So I was shown over and over again by my source that it was going to happen as long as I stayed the course. So certain decisions had to be made, certain good decisions, I use the word good, cool decisions must be made, even though whatever. So I use this quite often. Now I've ordered some more strong, the mild one and the strong one from Peru. That should be coming pretty soon. And I pretty much use Mapacho every night. I have enough to last me for a while. It should last me a good another 6-7 months. Yeah, I don't play. So a little bit each night. I go hardcore. Here is my happy. All right, I'm gonna share some things that I'm doing with you. Remember, rape is also legal. It's not illegal. Herbs are not illegal, and so forth. Herbs and slash plants. So this is rape. This is rape that I bought online from eBay. So I take a little bit, and sometimes I mix it. The rape is so strong. Some of this particular version is so strong that like it messes with my hearing. It's like, sheesh, it's like I'm piercing through another, and my ears become blocked. So I have to blow it out slowly, not to cause much more pain. But I do it every night, you know. And for a while, I wasn't able to talk because the energy in my body, the dark, the parasite in my body, lodged itself right here, right here. So because it was coming out, and it didn't want to be forced out. The rape every night, be doing this for continuously for 4 years, almost every day. No matter the pain, I would get up, yawn, strain myself, force myself to stay awake to drive to work and so forth. But none of that took a toll, by the way. None of that took a toll. None of that, like, constant getting 4 hours of sleep, 5 hours of sleep, and working like a dog. None of that took a toll. What really took a toll is what I've been referring to or alluding to. It was a heartbreak. So let's talk about that now. I don't care how good your nutrition is if you are not taking care of yourself, if you're not trying to resolve your emotional scars, issues, present and past, that whatever you're eating is not going to be utilized optimally. It won't be used to the optimal level because it's busy doing other things. Okay. So, what am I saying? I'm saying that whatever's in your body, whatever nutrient you put in your body uses it to take care of its problems. And you also have parasites inside, whether it's trauma, dark energy, it's all alive. Okay? Dark energy is what I call parasites. Literally, people have dark energy. I call it demonic entities, but it's just dark light. You know, we don't have to put a specific name to it, but it is there. I have it in my body. I'm not afraid to admit it. It is not me. Okay. Through my actions, I have allowed, directly or indirectly, for it to get in my body. Now it's very difficult. There's only one left. I thought I was clear after Peru, but that's another story. So you have to take care of, you have to resolve your problem little by little. Now, my shaman in Peru, gave me, did a lesson for me on the auras. Most people have 7 auras. I made a video about the auras. I don't know if the auras are in this channel or they deleted it with the other channel. I don't remember. But in any case, yeah, I think it's on this channel. In any case, most people have 7 layers. The aura are the layers of the light outside the physical, right? Okay, so your light isn't just like within your body; it extends beyond your body, and so that allows you to have access to information. Okay, so some people have most people, according to the shaman, have 7. The vast majority of people, and some people have more than 7. I have 9. Um, so the question that I posed him was, well, he said that you can't add an aura. Knowing me, I'm going to ask the question. So I asked the question in my mind. I didn't want to ask him directly because I didn't logically it made sense to me that you could add an aura. So that same night, it was verified for me in a non-physical, the sleep state, and the answer was yes, you can. But the vast majority of people on this planet will not be able to because so much love is required, so much dedication, so much. If you can do that, you can add an aura. So most people don't have the recollection of certain things because they have to cleanse up certain things and they're not willing to do the work. So therefore, they can't possibly add another aura, another a layer of awareness. So what I'm trying to do is add another layer of awareness. I have 9, um, 9 fully functional auras. And so in Peru, what I discovered was there was one hiding in my light, an astral parasite. So it wasn't directly in my body. The one that I felt sensed in my body is still there, but I've reduced it so much that I can function well on a daily basis. Um, Still get a little. My forgiveness is a lot less. So a few months ago, whenever I would do my medicine, I would forget. Right, Iboga is fantastic. I would forget something for 30 seconds or a minute, and then it'll come right back to me. So as soon as the Iboga wears off, it goes back to normal. But now, under the same conditions, my memory is actually sharper. Sharper, my creativity is sharper, my sleep is better. I'm still having difficulty, but my sleep is better. So, um, everything is possible. When you're having discussions with people, don't think that they're going to necessarily believe or understand you because not everyone has the same layers of, ¿cómo se dice? Capas de entendimiento de su luz. Not everybody has the same level, number of light because they have work to do. With that said, you have to work on your emotional stuff, your more emotional things to be able to advance. And nutrition wise, if you're eating well, some of that energy could be sucked up by the parasites if you're not dealing with resolving your issues. One of the things that has helped me to resolve some of my issues, especially the one that took place several months ago, right before the summer, was using logic and seeing things from a neutral perspective. I go over the same thing over and over in my head, trying to see if I missed anything to be able to make the right decision. Not a decision that I'm emotionally attached to, but a decision that is of a higher level awareness that I may dislike temporarily, but I know would be best. If it's not best for me, then it'd be best for my soul group in the long run. That's how I've made certain decisions recently. I'm sure Jose is listening. He understands quite well what I'm referring to. So if you are eating well, you can have the parasite suck in your food. If you're not resolving your emotional issues, that will give the parasite even more of a chance room because the more negativity you have, the more access it has to sucking up your vitamin D, vitamin B, protein level, and so forth. All right. So a personal example, this summer, my heart was broken. Okay. Just to show you that the emotional element is relevant and is crucial. A few months before the summer, my heart was broken by someone close to the family. And it was turning out to be two people. And it had to do with women. So I was shocked. It came out of nowhere. At least I thought it came out of nowhere, because I had prepared myself to shut down women altogether from past incarnations. If you read book 1, you would understand that that was the reason for my losing Emma. Or if you read book 2, I don't know, whatever books, there are 4 books now. One of the books talks about it, how she was really lost. The real reason why she was lost, we're going to go even deeper in this level. In book 5, why the pain was there. Your source your source doesn't play the type of game you think your source is playing. I don't know, whatever you're thinking. At least for me, what I understand is your source, your quote unquote higher self, will bring you to your knees if that's necessary. Actually, it's you bringing yourself to your knees because you're not listening. You haven't been listening for millions and millions of years. You think you've been around. This is the first time you've been created. Nonsense. Come on, people. Come on. Reincarnation is just like stepping into the next room. You step into another room of horror. What lessons do you need to learn? You don't have, how can you learn something when you're an empty vessel, right? So these things must come up to be cleansed. Otherwise, if your soul doesn't do that for you, your higher self doesn't do that for you, you get stuck in a vicious cycle. So your highest self must bring these things up, or it's set up such that you're bringing it up. You just have to deal with it and make better decisions to ascend. Ascension just means just feeling better, and that'll give you the power to enter higher and higher worlds, or aka frequencies. So you got to deal with that. In the absence of dealing with that, your nutrients would be depleted. So for me, well, after the betrayal, it will be explained in book 5, I turned into bones, and I didn't change anything about my diet. I was always, I mean, well, not always, but for 4 years, I have been chewing my food for nearly, 4 years now, chewing my food, right? I chew it, I swallow the liquid, and I spit out the hard part. So then my body would have less work, given that 80% of the energy in the system is used by the digestive system, right? I understood right away that I needed to free up that energy level to be spent healing the rest of my body and to retaining my nutrients in my body that I was putting in, the positive nutrients. But once I crossed over to the pain of the heartbreak, I was almost done, right? I was still holding on pretty strong because I just brushed it off, right? But then there was a tiny little thing that happened, an accident, a car accident. And that car accident caused my neck to be displaced. It wasn't broken. It was just only displaced. The vertebrae was displaced, right? And it just strains in my neck, and the muscles were torn, but it wasn't broken. So that I've had worse in my life, right? But what the parasite did was to use that diminished energy level against me. So all of a sudden, it exacerbated what I was feeling. The frequencies were open. Past lives with this person, that person was shown. I had, like, as soon as I'm having a conversation with someone, my clear audio was like, he just lied to me. It was just like boom, 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 boom. The child was coming out. The child was telling the truth. And I was saying things like, damn. And then so basically I had to go back and analyze myself, or actually think about what I was saying, and I understand why I said certain things, because that part of the light, the child, the inner child, was coming out. For me, it was my inner child that was repressed. Um, all right, well, details for book 5, but I needed to overcome that, and I needed to take out the astral parasite fast. So I find myself to Peru quickly, because, and on top of dealing with these issues, I was still working, but I was working from home to get some rest. Okay, so on top of dealing with all those issues, um, okay, so I just lost my train of thought. I guess healing takes time. Anyway, I had to go to Peru, right? This summer, because I couldn't drive. It was that bad. I could not drive. Teaching was possible and I couldn't sit for too long. Excuse me. I couldn't sit for too long. I had to get up and stretch. And I was a skeleton. So after I came back from Peru, the shaman summoned people left and right, Mother Ayahuasca and so forth, and they took out the astral parasite. So the only thing left for me to do is take out one um, layer. I'm taking that out every night with a hape. Little by little, it's losing its strength. Yeah, that was $2,000 well spent. There were several of us who went. So it's going to be a lot more than just what you put in your body in terms of food. It's going to be other medicinal things that will help you sleep, will help you stop things from sucking your energy. Stay away from fights. If you want to fight, as soon as you realize that you're putting yourself, something that's triggering you, be logical. So think about it. Is it really me? Or is there something else, something subtle behind the scene trying to push forward? Because in this world and a lot of worlds, we're so used to things being loud. Okay, loud is what we think we should be paying attention to, the subtleties that brings about change, the subtleties of care, subtleties of love, subtleties of thought. Hence, that's where the change is. So pay attention to that. So if somebody hurts you, I had to let go of the notion of somebody loving me deeply at all level. And that was when things change. That's when things change. I don't care if it's your mother, your father, your grandmother. The attachments itself will hinder you from giving up certain things that are bad for you. So it's a lot more than just the nutrition. You got to be holistic. With that said, I was telling you that the car accident was the icing on the cake that allowed the astral parasite and the last parasite inside me to bring me to bones. So let's take a look at those photos. I lost about 20 pounds within, I think it was within a month or two. And so here are some photos. And pay attention to how I look now. My face. Stand up a little bit so you can see. You see my face? Okay, I'm going to be showing you photos of how I look now, in addition, so you can see. So basically, the emotional trauma, emotional problems, I'll show you photos. Let's look at photos before. So all this began in May of 2021. You can see, right now, I'm not doing anything different. I still don't eat hard food. I chew it and I spit out the hard part and just a liquid. Okay. In that situation where the car accident happened, this is what you have. This is like, you look at that one alive. Look at this. Like, dude, I was gone. And there was a moment in bed, I was gone, dude. I was done. I tell you, when I was done, I was done. Look at that. Even that face is like done. Oh boy. Um. So, do you think looking like this? It's just ugly. It's very ugly. Oh, that is not cool. I think looking like this, I would have like switched back to hard food. Hell no. To the end. Hell no. Okay, that's not me. I prefer death, and I know death doesn't exist, so I'll just be stepping into the next level. What are you gonna do? My job is done. I'm just trying to bring about the bonus around anyway. What are you gonna do? The extraterrestrial being pissed off. That's what I was gonna say earlier. Extraterrestrial being pissed off, come in my room while I was trying to do time traveling. What the hell have you done? Okay, but now I know what to avoid, and so listen. We're all one. So if you want to play a game, that's up to you. Keep playing these games. It can only hurt later. So I would recommend my recommendations: be careful. So with that said, you thought I was done. I'm just warming up, and I didn't eat hard food. And the interesting thing was, in that bed, that one particular day, that I was comatose in bed, my mouth was open. I could hear my heartbeat. I could hear and feel and sense whatever the word you want to use. I couldn't move. I had to summon the willpower to move. I couldn't move, and I couldn't talk. A message was relayed. My source self said, go light. Food won't be enough. So basically, there comes a point where food isn't enough. And that's where I was. I could eat all the food in the world, it won't be enough. I needed to rest. But I understood that I needed to rest. So I decided to listen to the doctor, physical therapist, and take a month off from work. I didn't really take it off. I was working from home. So I got some rest. But I still didn't go back to eating. My mother tried to convince me. She has her own agenda. And I'm putting a stop to those agendas. Dear mother, dearest, dear, too many dears in that sentence. So where we have, all right, you see how, like, dude, is just gone. This is my little kitchen here. Well, now that we're looking at, not really kitchen, this is my storage space. You see this little item here? Turpentine. Turpentine. T-U-R, turpentine. P-E-T-I-N-E. Turpentine. T-U-R-P-E-T-I-N-E. Now, so I kept going. I had no butt. My butt was gone. My butt was hurting. My butt was hurting. I had to put some cushions. Oh man, it's look like that picture again. What was that? Oh man. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, okay. So I was saying I put turpentine in my food, just a little bit because it's pretty strong. It'll burn through, yeah, all the hard food. So just a little bit, like a drop. Mix it with your food every day. That parasite trying to suck your nutrients, huh? Good luck. Good luck. You'll have more nutrient to put in your body because you're putting in a little bit of turpentine. I used to put about a teaspoon all around it. You want to make sure you can enjoy your food because you put too much, it might cause problems, not just for the taste, but for your stomach. Just put a little bit. Some people take sugar with it. I would not recommend sugar. Just you really have to avoid eating things that with sugar. Very little sugar. Very little sugar. You like sweet stuff? Eat fruit. But even fruit, I would eat something that has more salt in it than because sugar is just like the parents. They love it. Parasites. All right, so there's a sexy Agbe here, looking like an extraterrestrial. All right, let's see what else we got here. Okay, I think that's it for those photos. So after my trip to Peru, doing the exact same thing eating exactly the same way, but fasting less. Here are the results of overcoming the betrayal and saying I'm important and getting back to normal. This is how normal looks like. Well, you can see my face, so you know how normal looks like. This is a sexy Agbe now. He's back. You're laughing. That's my wife laughing. Yeah, so I'm back. I'm back. Yes. So yeah, that's me. I gotta work on my teeth a little bit. I can feel it. You probably can't see it, but I know it's I have to like keep it a little cleaner. I swear to God, didn't get a shave around my eyebrows. Okay, did not get a shave. I just look like that. All right, so let's see the next picture. Okay, that's me. So here, I gained my weight back. I'm back to 122 pounds. I thought I had more pictures than that. I know I had more pictures than that. No way. I'm not ending this video until I show you the photos. They just refuse to download from the email. We're going to look at the photos. I'll find them. I'll just show it to you on the screen. Hopefully you can see it. Or maybe I'll check my email. Maybe it's there now. Okay, it's got a voicemail from my mother and Jose. Can you see? Okay, what is that? What is that? What is that? What is that? Esto y esto. Let's see if we have anything new. 209. Okay, I don't see it. I'll show it to you using my phone. Yeah, I don't want to show that one. Let's avoid showing that one. That it's not my picture, by the way. Okay, so all right, so this is me now. I'm trying to show this. You can see the definition. More meat on my bones. Or maybe there it is, like that. If I do a full screen, maybe that'll show me. Remove Ben's presentation. Oh, what am I presenting? I wish there was a way to. You are presenting. Stop. Ignore. Okay, let's stop presenting. Let's see. Let me see if. Okay. If I raised. Would that show you more? Yeah, it does. Okay, so that's a picture. I was trying to. I tried, but it didn't really apparently work. What's up the lighting? Madam, can you turn off the light, please? Thank you. Okay, there we go. Or maybe not. Okay, never mind. Turn it back on. It's not working. Thank you. Okay, you know what? I think it was working better the other way when I was presenting. Okay, so you can see the arms are more defined. The back is back to normal. and I'm not exercising. All right, so another photo. That one is clear. Okay, mostly muscle, very little fat. Not, I mean, trying to gain weight, but it takes time because I'm trying to get rid of the parasite. I want to gain a good 15 pounds, but it's gonna take me time. And if you're on a journey like this, you're gonna have to expect one or two, you know, difficult situations. Okay, I know it's a lighting, so. All right, you saw the other one. Nah, come on, we can do it. We can do it. What's wrong with it? I want you to play that. Okay, that's the last one, right? This is the last one. What are you doing? Okay, let's go. Oh, okay, did it again. 1 second, people. There's a photo in here that I hope is not gonna show because it's Jose's photo. I was making fun of him. It's not a picture of Jose per se, but it was a picture of something that happened that was funny. You can see it's back to normal body. Okay, so that's the post. And the hair is looking sexy as always. I really love my hair. I don't care what anybody says. I love my hair. Okay, so I do want to share something else with the viewer. I know this video is getting long, but it's better that it be thorough. Because I'm not gonna get a lot of people to watch it anyway. But those people who, for the few that it's important to, let them really get something out of it. And there are a lot of videos that I want to make, but I haven't had a chance. But this one seems to be more important since it's about the person asked to, it's of the person who wants to improve, right? So, um, so this little rapé thing that I showed you, uh, sweet dreams, and it'll put you to sleep unless the parasite is like after you use it for a while, then obviously it's going to fight back, and it's going to disrupt your sleep pattern. But I'll tell you this: Iboga medicine used to, when I would take like 2 capsules, sometimes I would feel the effect of it cleansing my brain. Now it doesn't seem like it's doing anything to my brain. I just feel sharper. Like I feel my clear audio is still like sharp. I'm like, damn, I've always had this, and that's how I caught people like Core Crystal. I just didn't know, and given the programming, societal programming, I was giving away my power. But less of that now. So here's for those super goal seekers. Here is another level of rapé. All right, what is rapé? Isn't rapé merely mostly, I don't want to say bitter, but plants that, like very powerful plants, herbs that takes away toxins from your body. So spinach could be used as a plant, as a rape. What is rape? Could you even use iboga as a rape? That's what I came up with recently. Iboga. And I even tried the African dream thing, something ashawanga, something. And there was a plant called African dream something. I did them both. I put them in here, the herbs, sniffed it. What's interesting about iboga is that iboga is like a hook, just hooks off the parasites, right? Or the energy just like pulls it out or forces you to deal with it. But I noticed that when I was doing regular hape, I would feel the burn in my head. But when I put in iboga, the burn was less or almost non-existent. So iboga calmed my head, and it feels like there was nothing there, almost as if nothing there. But then what I do is I go in the shower, clean myself, and then at the end, I would hold it in, let the whatever sensation, and I would put my pacho, soak my pacho, liquid, and my nose. And I hold it, and then I would also do an eye drop of what do you call it? Sananga, or I'll say this. Listen, you do whatever you need to do that is necessary to heal. I even tried urine therapy from eyes. That was good. That was good. Clear my eyes. It really helped. So now we're going to try other medicines as a hape in the nose. And what I really like about iboga is that because what's going to happen is whatever energy is in your body or your head is going to refuse to come out. It's going to get stuck here. Maybe you can't. You will have difficulty talking because in your nose might be stuffed up, or it might be your ear. It might be like, "Hi, I got to undo this." I mean, like, and I would like hold your nose, do it slowly to get it back to normal. Things like that. But I'm finding that like the fact that I went to Peru and took out some of the toxins and overcoming the heartbreak is helping me to have other ideas like now talking about putting iboga in here and putting in your nose so that it works the brain directly is something that I never thought of. You could also do San Pedro and like things like that. I don't have San Pedro. I'm going to ask a friend. I'm going to ask the shaman to send it to me, and I'll pay for it. And I'm going to ask for the oldest version ever, because that San Pedro we took in Peru, that was just like, ugh. I ran away. I said to him, I told him, I asked him, quote unquote, word for word, do I really have to take this? I really have to drink this medicine? Please don't make me drink. But it was necessary. Oh man. Talking about torture, that was one of the worst experiences, but necessary for healing. So I think I've pretty much covered everything. I mean, look at my notes here. Okay, so let's do a summary here. Resting is necessary. Food may not always be enough. Resolving emotional issues. I'm looking at my notes. Heartbreaks are actually worse than physical illness or physical injuries. Fermented food helps. The less sugar it has, the better. Avoid sugar. Rape is powerful. Mapacho is powerful. Straight from Peru. You can do new forms of rape. And I guess I'll leave you with this. What you are doing, I've healed literally. If I told you a few centuries, I would be underestimating. Within the past several months, I would be underestimating. They just say that I touch upon at least a million year of like like that major element that I couldn't move around was because I kept coming back with the same person over and over again. And the results was the pain that I expressed in book one, all the turmoil. So the turmoil of my childhood isn't because I was being punished. It was because I wasn't listening to my higher self. I was giving my power away. So that's why my childhood was so awful. So in this lifetime, I had to put a stop to the nonsense, and it all came to a boil several months ago. Nearly, it's almost, I guess, about 10 months, about 9 months ago. So with that said, keep working away, keep trying. Um, as long as you're improving, you don't have to be perfect. That is the key to love. Love is self care, and it goes beyond basic logic. It goes beyond. It's also there's a point where it becomes selfless, but it does not destroy you in the process. If it is destroying you in the process, you're doing something wrong. You can make decisions that are selfless, but you shouldn't be making decisions that are selfless and not taking better care of yourself. So that is all I have to say. Hopefully, you find this video useful. The requesting person. Good luck on your journey back to source consciousness, source speed.